Shifting gears to SpaceX, it's delayed today's launch for NASA's astronauts to the International Space Station. The trip is now planned for Saturday. A separate launch for 22 of the company's Starlink satellites is still scheduled to go ahead at 9:30 Eastern tonight. Meanwhile, the U.S. Justice Department is suing the company over its hiring practices. The department says SpaceX illegally discriminated against refugees and asylum seekers. Joining us now is Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan to give us those details. Hey, Alexis.
Hi, Rochelle. Yes, the Department of Justice is saying that SpaceX violated a U.S. law that's called the Immigration and Nationality Act. What it does is it prohibits hiring discrimination for people against people who are granted either refugee status or asylum status. And the DOJ says that SpaceX CEO Elon Musk, as well as others at the company, wrongly said and represented in statements, in job ad postings, and other places that the company could hire only U.S. citizens. And that, they said, is because they put it on this federal export law that's known as the International Traffic in Arms Regulation. But the DOJ, they say that those laws treat refugees and asylum grantees as U.S. citizens for the purpose of hiring and employment. One example that the DOJ gave was a tweet from Elon Musk in June of 2020, where he said U.S. law requires at least a green card to be hired at SpaceX, as rockets are advanced weapons of technology. The DOJ also alleging that the company's application database that receives its job applicants entries for employment, that it repeatedly rejected applicants who either chose refugee or asylum as their status to work in the country. Now, Musk has already shot back on X, on Twitter, if you want to call it, accusing the Biden administration of weaponizing the Justice Department for political motives. Here's what he wrote there. He said SpaceX was told repeatedly hiring anyone who was not a permanent resident of the U.S. would violate international arms trafficking law, that law we just talked about, which would be a criminal offense. Now, he doesn't say who exactly told the company that. This case, though, is before an administrative court. And so we'll have to see what the next chapter here brings. But for now, the Justice Department is saying that the company has broken between 2018 and 2020 these employment type laws.
So then in terms of relief, what does the DOJ want from this suit?
Yeah, so they're asking for some really interesting remedies here. And look, other companies like Walmart, CarMax, Capital One, these companies have all been involved in this type of action from the DOJ and had to pay penalties and had to have other problems and remedied here, but it's asking to stop the practices. Okay, so that would be like an injunction. Also, the DOJ wants SpaceX to pay some civil penalties and also compensate improperly screened applicants as the Justice Department sees it. Also, though, wanting to hire applicants who were these alleged victims of the so-called offenses, and also to pay them some lost wages that they say happened to them because they were not hired by the company. So those last ones there seem like a little bit of a complicated stretch, but that's what the DOJ wants. And so we'll see if SpaceX gets to the negotiating table on this, or if the case is going to take the next step in court.